This week on Getting Deep, we had Dan Ward, a comedian, a director, a documentary editor, and the room runner for Mad Cow, which is a free comedy show at the Buffalo Club in Fremantle.
Come and check it out, guys.
Definitely. We spoke about some really weird conspiracies.
Oh, the best of the best.
The best of the best.
Pyramids.
Pyramids. We spoke about the pyramids and how they could be a tomb.
Tomb or power station?
Oh, no, a power station of the tomb. We also spoke about gun laws, which was quite interesting.
Yeah, was it all a staged plan?
Is it all staged?
Is it actually the gun companies behind it?
It's both. It's definitely both. And four-dimensional space. We spoke about that.
Our own theories.
Happens a lot.
And what else is there? I'm pretty sure we also spoke about...
We spoke about Mad Cow a little bit at the end.
Yeah, our slave society we live in.
The fact that we live in a fucking slave colony and we shouldn't be paying taxes.
Fuck the taxes.
So listen to it. Also, before we start the episode, I've got to tell you about our new sponsor, Ian Knight Real Estate Team. They've decided to start giving us some money to help get the podcast bigger. And the bonus is, if you need to sell your house, you give them a call and tell them that you got this from the Gettin Deep podcast or from Darcy. They're going to throw more money at us because they know obviously it works. But let me tell you one thing before I do go about this. Ian personally sold one of my properties. And it's the highest selling property in the suburb he sold it in. Still, to this day. And that was sold over 6 months ago. So definitely, and the link will be in the description, give them a call, get an appraisal if you want to sell a house. They will work harder than you even expect. All right, now into the podcast.
I just play like games like Overwatch and Marvel's Rivals, which me and Jamal, we just troll people. We just do. We're not even playing the game. We're
just fucking with cunts.
Yeah.
I used to do that,
and I used to just do it in the voice chat because I'm thinking no one chats in this game. I realized there was an actual setting. I turned the voice chat on, and I realized. Oh, I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's people doing the exact same thing you're doing.
Not to it's a little bit, but more so I realized how many 12-year-olds on that game that I'm calling a cunt. And when you can hear the voices of your victims, you're just like, oh my God, I've been verbally trashing children. What did you thought they were high schoolers, man.
Why did you think that wasn't the case?
Because Jamal was doing it. I was like, this seems fun.
You got tricked into trolling kids because your mate was doing it. I love that.
I'll make it up for them. I'll start a school in their honor or something.
And they need to get learned somewhere. Bullying needs to happen somewhere.
I'm teaching. I was a product of bullying, so I'm just passing on that trauma in the most light-hearted manner I can.
Yeah. I mean, I was a product of bullying technically.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was a very violent child.
Oh, yeah. You're on the other side of the bullying.
No. So, I wasn't a bully. I was, just violent. So, I'd, get into fights and bash everyone. And then in year 7, everyone flogged the fuck out of me for ages. And then I kind of chilled out. Not really, didn't chill out, but.
So you're the crazy kid in class where it's just sort of
in primary school?
Don't fuck with that kid.
Nah.
Tease him a little.
Cunts still wanted to fuck with me. Definitely.
Don't smack him or anything.
No, they definitely wanted to do all that.
Yeah, right.
But I'd bait people. I was very much I would bait people into punching me.
Oh, true.
It was fucked. I don't know what was wrong with me. I do know what was wrong.
Just had a kink for it.
Nah, I know what it was. I know what it is now.
What was it?
I was just emulating what was going on in my house.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, if we want to, it's getting deep. Let's get deep.
That's what I was doing. I was just copying what was going on, which is dumb.
Well, I could say kind of the same in my household. you know.
Yeah.
But I was a very punchable kid.
Yeah. Well, look.
Did you see
I wasn't
the
very
picture
punchable because I'm good at dodging.
Did you see the picture of me from when I was in year 11? 15, 16 years old? I look 12.
That's dope.
And I was just I did not make it easy for myself. I was so bullyable. You know what? Is that word bullyable? It is now.
No, do you know what I find is bullyable? Is dickheads that choose to be fake. That was what I found the most bully. Given I teased everyone I possibly could because I found it hilarious and there was no prejudice with me. if you were in front of me
Yeah.
while I was in the mood,
You're copping it.
You're the man. That sucked into you. What can I tease you about? That's what we're going for.
Yeah, no, I wasn't bullyable in that sense. I just had a very punchable face and was just like that gimp with no social cues.
Oh, yeah, but that's mean. You don't bully young people.
Ask Bruno. It was funny as Bruno saw a picture of me because I was like, yeah, and we found out we went to the same school, me, him, and Sadi, and I showed them a picture, and Bruno's just like, oh, that was you? You were that kid? And it was just like, no more needs to be said.
You know, they were the people I didn't bully.
Yeah,
Like they're like nerds, and you're like, why? There's no benefit. Like if you've got no pushback, you're just being mean.
yeah. I suppose like if you are a bully, and like most bullies don't want to stand up to other bullies or anyone that can actually rival them, so they want to go for a weaker target.
Yeah. Because that's because they're trying to feel better about teasing people. I wasn't.
But I was also like a bit of a dobber with a bunch of shit, so I do also like, you know, like
I definitely wouldn't have teased you then.
like say.
I
Like,
would've.
no, not for like just things like, oh, Kyle's drawing on his desk.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
like,
I wouldn't have teased you. I would have.
No.
Dude, you're the first person to not tease. This is strategic.
No, because the teachers hated it and the teachers joined in. Oh, so I copped it.
You
for
were
both.
that kid.
Yeah, I was that kid. Look, they had a detention chair for me. They put a plaque on the detention chair because I spent 3/4 of year 12 on it. They just didn't want me in the classroom.
Yeah.
And they would just send me to detention on trumped up charges sometimes. Some of them were legit. Like there was days I
was not looking at you today, dude. Get out of here.
Literally. There was once when like me and like 4 other kids came to class. I was like the third one in the door, and there was just like, you take a seat, you take a seat, down detention, you take a seat. Like, you know, I was like, why did I get picked out, you fuck?
And it's like, I'm not doing this today. I'm not in the mood. They were hungover.
Yeah,
the teacher was
yeah.
hungover.
Had to be. There was this one teacher, Mr. Bell. He saw there was this crazy person in our class, Carol, and she like swinging an extension cord around and like hit me, and it cut my arm. And then
so you were like, oh.
No, I was just like, what the fuck? And then the teacher saw I missed it. I was just like, yeah, Dan, go to detention.
It was your fault.
Self-harming. I was like, you saw that. That almost hit you. If it didn't hit me, you were going to tell her off for swinging. It almost hit you in the eye.
Fucking dope.
Yeah, it was crazy. They knocked the school down now.
Oh, it was that good of a school?
Yeah, I really, I want to plot a land. You're in real estate. How do I get that?
What, you want to...
I want some land.
You're not going to get the land of the fucking school.
They're developing it into plots of land.
Oh, yeah. You need a job.
No. I don't want to buy the land, Darcy. How do I like acquire at least just the block where I had my plaque?
What do you mean? You can't acquire without buying it.
Like you know, here you go. Like school's fucked. Like we didn't really teach you much about future going forward.
Yeah,
like,
good one.
Yeah, like this, how bad? Here, have some land.
I don't know, maybe like when they move in, just plant a sign out the front like, I was in detention, this is my detention. I don't know.
It would be hard to find the exact positioning as well. I'd need like the exact coordinates. Like
just
5 to the right.
Walk around with your eyes closed, right? Until you feel where you were punished the most.
Yeah, I'll be able to sense it.
Oh, this is it. This is the spot.
Like those guys finding waters with those steel rods.
Yeah.
just like,
oh, that's the pain.
This is where I got kicked in the head.
I can feel it right there.
What school did you go to?
I went to Safety Bay High.
Oh, yeah.
And then for year 12, I went to Warnbro High because I got a D in year 11 English and I was going to have to repeat year 11. And I was like, I'm not repeating year 11 at the school that I'm already at. I'll go repeat year 11 with a bunch of my friends who are in year 11.
Yeah.
And then we got to Warnbro. They're like, you don't have to do year 11. You can do year 12. I was like,
Sick.
Okay, I guess I'll do year 12. And then I started wagging because I was like, I hate being here.
I did WAG school quite a bit.
I didn't up until year 12.
Really?
Yeah.
No, year 12 is when I like started rocking up all the time, but I'd say like year 11 and year 10 and 11.
I totally lost interest by year 12 because I like changed schools. It was all like cunts I didn't know. All my friends were a year younger. I was just like, I don't care. No one in the school was helping me get anywhere I wanted to be. I was like, whatever. I'm finishing in classes and sick. It was dumb.
Yeah. I was so bad at school. It baffles me how I went back to study things at like TAFE and uni. So like, and to continue that on
Well, okay,
I did do a trade in the middle, so it was a bit of a break.
Oh, you did a lot of shit then. I did like a bunch of labouring jobs.
I've had more jobs than you could ever imagine.
You're probably in the same boat.
I was a lawn bowls instructor at one point.
Oh, no, I haven't done anything that weird. I worked in a toy
I was a
factory
guitar
for a week.
instructor. Where do I go? I worked in a glass printing factories where we put like bar logos on glasses.
Oh, yeah?
Just like, oh yeah.
Was that just like watching them and being like, yeah, they're still good?
No, just like put your foot on a pedal, it rolls, you take it out.
Oh, so it
It's
was
just-
like real manual. Like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
then like 2 weeks after I left, they got this new machine that like just did it for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you dogs.
Makes sense. That's not a human job. Humans shouldn't do that job.
Oh yeah, we had the craziest boss as well who he's just like speak like this and one dude got,
Because he's in a shit job.
oh yeah, he once like was telling me a story about how someone got electrocuted.
Yeah.
He got electrocuted like just grabbing like these cables in his wall. He's like that type of guy. And the guy works
Just a dumb cunt.
Yeah.
He's just an idiot.
Yeah, just someone that found his way into money.
I'm going to grab these wires on the wall.
Yeah, basically. And like one of his workers came up with like a wooden stick. The worker actually, this was like 20
whacked
years
him off?
before I worked there, was actually my uncle. Like generations
Oh.
worked here. But yeah, anyway, my uncle whacked him off with a broomstick, got him away, and then he just went back to work. And everyone's like, you need to go to the hospital. And he's like, why? So they can tell me what I already know. Got electrocuted. He's like, yeah, but like skin was peeling off your arm, mate. He's like,
You're suffering.
I know, I was there. Just-
Fucking
can you
moron.
imagine trying to work for that guy?
Nah, man, that sounds fucked.
Oh,
He'd be the kind of cunt that's like, oh, you could jump in the skip bin to compact it. And you'd be like, bro, there's knives in there. Bro, don't be a little pussy. And you're like, God, I don't want to fucking cut my leg open.
and he would always scream. It was so good. He would tell me to do something and then tell me off for doing it. It would be like, Dan, go get that glass from behind the kiln. And you're sweeping up. He'll just run out like, Dan, get the fuck away from the kiln.
Fuck.
It's just
That
so
sounds
good.
like awesome fun.
And he would always, I wasn't the best worker. Like, I'm not putting it all on him. I was
Yeah, but
pretty, I was
like-
pretty shocking. Like, one day he
You
pulled
look
me,
at your job.
he pulled me aside one day and he's just like, Dan, there's 20 people working in this warehouse. I'm too fucking busy worrying about you.
Why don't you just fire me then, bro?
Literally, it's like, let me go. But I was doing a good job.
Sounds like it. I was making sure them glasses got printed on.
Oh, yeah, never missed an order.
Oh, that's
Except for that one, like a whole pallet of jars just off the side of the ute. Yeah,
Just smashed 'em.
that one. That wasn't when I got fired, but that's when I should have got fired.
They kept you on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, a
just
little bit longer just to replace the glasses I broke.
You can fix up that mess, and then we'll sack him. Now, I worked in a toy factory for a week.
Oh, yeah?
That was like filling stuffed toys. That was kind of fun.
Filling the stuffed toys.
Yeah.
Where we do that here?
Yeah, for like the Royal Show and shit.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, we don't have sweatshops. Like, what do you mean?
I was
when
in a
did you live in Shanghai, bro?
I was the sweatshop.
It's just like, well, you know how much we pay per hour? But not for the show.
Yeah,
That's
that
like
was
sleeping.
only like 15 an hour when I was doing that.
Yeah,
It
right.
wasn't much. And it
That's
was just,
crazy. How long does it take to stuff a teddy?
I think I was getting them down to like 2 a minute.
2 a minute?
Yeah. So what you do is like you'd get this little rod that was like you'd poke out, and you'd get the body of the animal with nothing in it, and you slot it through like a butthole that would be in there, and then you'd have to step on a pedal, and the pedal would shoot out polystyrene beads, and you have to fill up the arms and then the body, and then you try and get it as stuffed as possible, then throw it over to an old lady in the corner who would sew the rest of the hole up.
Yeah, right.
And so it's just like a process of.
And that was at the Royal Show.
That was for the Royal Show. So they would like supply the Royal Show, like all them sideshow alleys with their big, massive bears and shit. And there was just some spaz in a workshop just filling it.
So
and
that
throwing
thing,
to an
I
old
was
lady.
just like, I want one of those so bad. You had your hand up its ass once.
No. I had my hand filling its ass.
Just
Yes.
around.
Just holding the body,
Yeah.
maneuvering it with a pole in its butthole, just filling it.
What a job.
It was-
I get to stick rods up Teddy's ass. I'll
The bonus was
fill it up.
It was one of those jobs where they let me just put my headphones on and just spaz out.
Yeah, I don't imagine they're like taking things too serious. Like they're not having corporate meetings.
It was literally me and an old lady in a corner.
Yeah, like there's no toolbox meetings.
Nah, they're just like fill the fucking things up and give them to her, and then we're just waiting. I'm like, dope.
Yeah, right.
That's what I did.
How did you get the job?
Fuck knows anymore. There was a bunch of weird jobs I did where I was just like, I probably just went through Seek and was like, give me a job. And then I do it and I was like, I hate this.
I couldn't be trusted doing that. I honestly couldn't be trusted. I'd be getting messages. I'd be writing like little coded messages and putting it in each teddy. So if they, on the split chance one split's open, it's like, help, I'm being held captive in this factory.
If I did it longer, there's a chance that shit could have happened.
Oh, I almost want to get a job in a factory to do that shit.
So there was like one place I worked at, and there was me and another dude, we were the warehouse dudes, and they were hell treating me like shit there. So I started graffitiing the other guy's name on all the boxes. So I just started writing his name and like tagging him on all the boxes. So when they come to me, like, why are you doing this? I was like, why would I write his name on shit? That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then they ask him, and he's like, why would I write my name on this? That's stupid. So I was like, this is logic. And just
Gaslighting.
destroying the workshop. Just like all the boxes were getting sent out just had this cunt's name tagged on it. And I was like, fuck you cunts. Like, stop treating me like shit, and I wouldn't like deface everything in this place.
I worked in logistics for a while, so it was a lot of like boxing and shipping and like...
Yeah.
I do that specky thing where you can't help, like, you know, when you walk down the toilet, like the toilet aisle in the shops, and you're just poking your holes in the toilet paper packet.
No, I don't. I do know what you're doing, but no, I don't.
Oh, like, so for me working around boxes, like I'd write and just I'd deface
Stab
the
holes in-
boxes and
yeah.
like these are being sent out to customers.
I was the one packing the boxes to send, so I'd made sure the ones I'd sent looked like shit.
You know what it's like having me work in like a factory that requires safety equipment on mine sites before they shut down.
Oh yeah,
And like they don't get the equipment or shutting down. There's just me just boop, boop, with the bubble wrap.
Spack.
Just boop, boop, boop.
Those jobs shouldn't be made for humans, but
No.
they're like they make you fucking spastic.
Yeah.
Every like crap job I did, I would go there and like my soul would suck out of me every day that I was there, and I was like, oh, I hate doing this.
I think I'm not big on like, I found out pretty early. I've been a welder. I've been a logistics supervisor. I've done bricky. I've been landscaping. I've done a lot, and I just can't do the full time.
Because they're shit
Right.
jobs, bro.
They're all shit jobs. You're spending the majority of your time doing something you don't want to do.
Well, I find it hard to how anyone does them. I don't get it.
Well, there's some people that can just disassociate from that.
Yeah, but then what do they do when they go home?
No, but that's when it's like they finish their 8 hours, then they come home to like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah, but I mean, if
I get to spend some time to myself. You know what I mean?
them jobs, I'm in them just like, oh, I don't want to be here. I need to leave.
This is why I'm like an advocate for like the 3 to 4 hour working week.
I'm an advocate for robots taking all those jobs.
Yeah, get the robots to take the jobs. What I'm saying is we actually live in a society where
We live in a slave colony, man.
no, but you could work 3 to 4 days a week, and you can split up a job between 2 different people. You no longer need weekends there. You things go like 7 days of a week. That keeps the economy rolling, the money coming in, and all of a sudden, like business is booming.
But right,
You can afford it.
Imagine
with all those side factors.
Imagine if we got born and we didn't have to have a job.
What, like in Qatar?
Well, yeah, we've only got so many minerals in the earth
That's
that
only
are all in our country that get exported out of it. And I mean, why do we have to pay for majority of the tax? Because we live in a slave colony. Yes, Australians. I'm talking about Australians. The rest of the world I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah,
I just care about where I live.
It's ridiculous that they don't pay any tax for anything they brought out of the ground, and then they turn around and they're just like,
Well, pay some royalties. Some
Fuck
royalties.
all.
Not compared to what the fact is, what we pay out of our own pay to exist in this country is insane.
You've probably paid more tax than BHP.
Maybe
this
not.
next year. They pay fuck all.
I know, but
They pay fuck
I
all.
also
They're all foreign
pay tax.
entities. and the thing that annoys,
I
I
definitely
think
will.
there should be like a blanket 30 to 40% tax on all mines. I don't care what anyone says about that. And this is what people say. If you do that,
They'll leave.
they'll let you, okay, cool.
Get
cool.
out then.
Leave. What are we? We're a state of miners that has people that can operate these things from every level. Have the sorry if this sounds socialist. Have the state run it.
That's what it should be.
Have the state run it. Have
state should
all
run
the
it, and then the
profits
go
go
to us.
100% of profits go straight into the fucking tax pool. Next
Yeah.
thing you know, we've got futuristic hospitals and shit like that.
Well,
you can have everyone in West Australia on universal basic income. You can have dental covered. You can have everything covered.
I don't think we have to go down as far as everyone getting money. Like
No,
that
no,
doesn't.
you
like,
don't
I
have to. But it can go back into.
But if we stopped taxing people to the absolute fuckhouse, that would automatically make things better.
Dude, the American Revolution was built upon a 2% state tax.
Yes.
2%. And now we're lucky if we only pay 20.
Mate, we're fucked. You got to pay
And then
10%,
you pay-
10% on everything you purchase and everything you sell.
Yeah, you're going to sell something, you got to be taxed. You're going to buy something, you got to be taxed.
Oh, yeah.
And those are cigarettes you're getting?
Tax.
More tax
Oh,
on
alcohol?
top of your tax.
50%
Alcohol,
tax.
More tax.
Oh,
Sugar,
fuel?
carbon,
Yes.
everything in between. It's ridiculous how we've let ourselves get to a point where we just have become like wage slaves.
Yeah, there needs to be someone that pops off one day and just starts terrorizing shit.
No, well, we had that Louis guy. He shot that CEO.
No, that's in America.
Yeah, but that could have started a whole global thing.
That's not Australia.
Viva la revolution.
That's I think,
We need someone to shoot, like, Gina Reinhardt in the fucking temple.
I don't think that would solve it. I think someone needs to kill politicians if they're going to kill anyone.
Yeah, but then
Because
politicians are just puppets. And then
Yes, but-
you knock one down, the other hand goes up.
They need to kill the ones that have retired. Because the ones that retire, that have a fucking paycheck for the rest of their life because they've been a politician, and then they go and work as lobbyists for other companies, go and kill them.
Yeah.
They die, it makes a statement, and everyone's like, ugh.
Whatever happened to the public executions? You know what I mean?
Yeah, publicly execute all politicians. We probably shouldn't say this on a podcast. Someone's going to be like, these are terrorists.
I mean, like, I've almost been classified as a domestic terrorist once with Corey White.
What did you do to make this happen?
Oh, this was during the vaccine period.
Oh, it's not hard to become a terrorist in that point in time.
We went up to Port Hedland because Corey was doing some shows and these people wanted to meet us. And I'll say the name, fuck it, the Pilbara Freedom Fighters.
Okay.
They're actually the most lovely people in the world. That was
Because
so
they were
good.
just upset that they were getting their jobs taken away for fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Ejected.
But, like, a lot of them were, like, orchestrating the walk-off of all the mine sites.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
not terrorism.
Yeah, and
That's organised.
that's protesting.
Yeah.
But we're up there with these people, and it got sus because we'd just be chatting like with phone and table and all that, and then they'll just all of a sudden be like, "It's time to chat," and then they'll get up and they'll move to another table, leaving all the devices.
Yeah.
Like that, and it was weird, man. I was staying with one guy that had this 60 Minutes episode about him, about how much, and he's one of the guys, and it was about how, like, he was this philanthropist doing all this charity work. They were hailing him as like a hero. And on the last day, because they've orchestrated this fucking walk-off, they've apparently been branded as domestic terrorists by the state. And Corey and I, with these guys, just like, what the fuck are we going? Like, I'm supposed to be filming a documentary about this as well. And so they get me up there paying me to film a doco, and then they're like, "Oh, are you filming this?" Like, yeah. And they thought I was an undercover cop.
Yeah.
And they're paying me to film it and record it. And then they're just like, "Hey, have you got batteries in there in that recording device?" Yes. Like, wait, you're recording what we're saying now? Yes, that's what you're paying me to do, bro. What? So I didn't end up getting the footage to make anything. You know what I mean? Because, like, every time they wanted to... it just became, like, clips of me looking at the fucking horizon. You know, like a poetic documentary about fucking trees.
There's things going on, but I can't tell you about any of it. There's a lot of secret stuff going on here.
But on the final day when we were flying back, we went past like one of the offices for the mine site, and they had like blocked off the door with all their high vis. They were just chucking all these, like everyone was striking.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. And we had to race to the airport. We get back, and then as soon as we land in Perth, we go straight to Parliament House because we're like, oh, we're going past that. Let's check it out. And they had the same thing happen there.
Yeah. Good.
Nothing on the news. Not one
I didn't
word
say anything about it.
was ever said, but I was there and I saw you could not walk into that Parliament building because of how many fucking protesters put their high-vis in front of, like, on the doorstep.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, a bit like, the
Perth
people
was
that we
wild
were
at that point in
with was orchestrating that, and then they end up as domestic terrorists. We fly back, we capture all this on footage and shit like that, and then it's not on the news, it's being all hush-hush, and we're just like, what the fuck do we do? Like, I'm just an open mic comic trying to make
But it's like you can't, even if you put footage out there, it all got taken down.
Yeah,
anything you did, like I was asking questions on Facebook, like, hey, I found this, what does this mean? And that shit would get flagged. And I'm like, cunt, I haven't even made a statement. I said, this doesn't make any sense. Can someone explain it to me? And a bunch of people were like, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, I didn't actually tell you anything. I asked a question for you to explain, and all you've said is I'm an idiot. So usually an idiot responds to a question with, you're an idiot.
If you're not allowed to ask questions about something,
there's something wrong.
Then that's usually an indication that something fishy is going on there.
Yes. COVID was a very fun, fishy time.
And I'm not saying that COVID was fake. I'm not saying the vaccine didn't work. I'm just saying people made a lot of money.
Well, the vaccine definitely worked one way or another.
Yeah.
Definitely did some damage to some people.
Oh, yeah.
And it definitely didn't stop COVID.
No.
So...
Well, Pfizer put out a research paper in the 80s saying that like it would be impossible to come up with a COVID vaccine. They knew what COVID was back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like
I found stuff on that one with people who were like, yeah, because like, you know, and you're like, cunts, you literally have no idea. Why are you defending this?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we just go, hey, our government is usually pretty corrupt. They do stupid shit.
People feel smart because they've completely switched on to this false narrative that gets put out.
Now.
And then if you challenge that false narrative that they have in their head, like, then they feel dumb.
Well, you know what's dumb? Ignorance.
But it is a bliss.
I don't know. I don't live in that. Speaking of things that were proven to be correct.
Oh, I'm full of them. I was on about Epstein before they caught him, Diddy. Oh, I was like, there's an island with kids. And people were like, fuck up, Dan. And then like I did that at a place where I worked, that logistics place, and I went back like 3 years later.
I was like, Dodger!
Yeah, I was like kicking doors, just like, yeah, you believe me now, cunt.
They fucking got him.
Yeah.
They got the pedophile.
And then when they got P. Diddy, I was just like, I'm checking out now. I literally feel like the Oracle.
What is the most ridiculous conspiracy you've seen happen that you're like, I can't believe that was real?
One that came out to be real. There's a lot of them, man.
What's like the most ridiculous? Like you're like, how the fuck is that actually real? Like, you know when you, because I read anything I can about it, I'll look shit up, and then the more evidence that kind of stacks towards it, you're like, wow, okay, that's insane. But
there's honestly too many, man. There is actually too many. So many things just get like brought into the light. Like take the Diddy stuff, for instance.
Yeah.
What was that Oddie guy that ended up shooting up Trump Towers in 2018? There's a video of him in a hospital gown getting interviewed by the police.
Oh yeah, who said he was a sex slave for Diddy and shit.
Yeah. He's just been... I think he's getting called into the courtroom.
Well, they asked Cassie about it.
Cassie
like,
confirmed everything about it.
That dude was legit.
And that one's crazy.
But he talks about something like the Black Illuminati.
Yeah.
Like the Bulle or some shit.
The Black Illuminati.
Yeah.
Which I think that's... I'm not saying that it's like an established Illuminati, but it could just be a group of friends
supposedly
who have made their... But yeah.
There's one called the Bulle.
Oh, yeah?
Or something like that. And that is like the black dude, bad guys. I mean, they're gangsters. They're all gangsters one way or another at the top end of like rap.
Yeah.
That is like whole Suge Knight thing was like you shake them down and you fucking...
Man, we all owe Suge an apology
What? He straight up injected Easy with AIDS, dude.
Oh yeah, no, fuck him for that. But like everyone's like blaming him for Tupac or Biddy, and it turns out Diddy killed them both.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Like, have you found out about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an interesting one. He got them both whacked. He started the war between the Bloods and the Crips.
I mean, if you want to control things, create chaos.
That's it.
That is, it's divide and conquer. It's a very simple way to work.
But how deep can we go into this? Do we want to get like because we know who he was working for? Yeah.
Who?
Like the same person Epstein was doing the
CIA.
blackmail.
Yes.
No, not the CIA, but who they work for.
Oh, yes. Mossad.
You said it. Go for him. Oh my God, this guy, you anti-Semitic piece of shit.
This is just the information I get.
But like, it's pretty evident when you look into it. And like,
Epstein was definitely Mossad, from what it seems.
yeah, they'll like it's just these are people with like such big platforms that can like celebrities or politicians.
Well, it's just power. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, how
You
do
don't want them
control
saying
power?
anything against your banking system. You don't want them to say anything about like anything that's going to disrupt you. And once they have you fucking a goat on camera or
gotcha.
whatever it is, you now have to politically say everything we want. We want to go to war in Iraq. You're going to support it. We want to fucking level 90% of Gaza's buildings. Yeah.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it. And you're not going to say shit against it.
Do you know what I find is the ones that you never really see in these problems is comedians.
Yeah.
Because comedians are like, oh, I'm doing fucked up shit. Oh, this is my life. What are
Now
you
there
talking
is some out there, like the whole Cat Williams sort of expose on that a few groups.
Oh, yeah, when you go on like the real like nice comedians, like how he just rinses Kevin Hart and fucking Steve Harvey.
Because there are a lot of plans.
Plants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's how that industry makes money.
Yeah. Wonder if there's any plants in Perth.
I don't think anyone's making enough money to say that.
No.
Like there's not, and I don't think there's enough power to control out of Perth.
Nah, see, I'm convinced there are people in intelligence in Perth, and I'm not going to say
there'd be
who.
intelligence
I'm not
in
going to
Perth.
say who, but it would make sense because of like, look at all the natural resources you have in this state, and we just went over how butt fucked we are getting by
I
the
thought
state.
you meant in comedy in Perth.
No, in comedy in Perth.
okay.
Yeah, because comedy is one of the last free speech platforms that there is.
So you reckon-
and
you
you
reckon
can get
there's
a
a
lot
plan
of
in comedy?
ideas.
Or 2 or 3 or 4.
It wouldn't surprise me if some people that ran shows or like other people would just be like, yeah, I'm not booking that person because they speak too highly on some topics that
Yeah, but
may
that's
fuck
just
up
like-
our whole like little.
That's just shitty
mining
opinions, as opposed to like, as opposed to like a plant, like a full blown like, hey, there's someone getting funded secretly.
I reckon they're in there, man.
You reckon there's
I
some?
reckon there is.
Interesting.
I've got my suspects.
I'm going to ask you after the pod because I'm curious to who could be a plant.
I could only give you hints.
Okay. I've got to work in figuring out what your paranoia
Who
is.
do you think is the biggest Hollywood plant right now, like for comedy?
In Hollywood?
Or just like the American sort of.
They're ones that I don't pay attention to. They're always like some like, I don't know, there's that little hot girl who does a podcast who's like super dry and like boring and bitchy.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a pant. Came out of nowhere.
That thing's no fun.
That Bonnie chick.
Yeah, the whore.
Not Bonnie Blue.
I don't know what her name
I mean, like, if it was Bonnie, that's one way to get more numbers to your podcast.
Heaps of whores.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen like
1,000 guests in one day.
I seen her pop up on this thing, and then I was like, what is this? This is boring. What is this? And then someone was explaining it to me, and I was like, what the fuck? Why is this meant to be cool? And then it's like, oh, she's actually popular. I'm like, how is this? Who's watching this and going, interesting? I mean, you're watching this and going, interesting, fuck you, whatever. But this is someone who genuinely tries to like annoy
someone
her
that
guests.
tried to do a Nathan for you-esque type.
Oh,
sort
but not even close because he's actually a genius and comes up with cool ideas and does wild shit. She just tries to be awkward and like bratty.
Plants in the conspiracy world is one I love, where it's like someone just
Controlled
becomes a
opposition.
big controlled opposition. I you can see them from a mile away.
Sometimes, no. Because there's some that I like try and wonder. Like Alex Jones has gone on and off the radar as a plant to me.
Can we talk about Alex Jones?
Of course we can.
Oh,
Why not? Alex Jones rules.
I don't know where I stand with that guy. Like, obviously, he said some fucked up things. Like, no one's going to deny that.
You also, like, he was talking about Crimea.
Yeah.
You know what Crimea is? It's fucking half human, half animal. And then supposedly that shit is real now. And he was talking about that shit 10, 15 years ago.
Everyone's like, oh, making the goats, the frogs gay.
Oh, yeah, the atrazine.
They were actually like it's just the way he explains it, but they actually were changing the
way
sex
they've
of
snipped his way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'm not sure if he's putting out, because he discovered Bohemian Grove and so many other things. I'm not sure if he is controlled opposition where he's to make him look crazy.
Yeah, I think there would definitely be people feeding him information that's fake as well. Because he obviously gets true information.
Yeah.
That's a fact. He's exposed Epstein's Island way early. He's said all these things that turn out to be true. But then there's shit he said and you're like, that's wild. Is that true? Like when he goes on like, they're vampires.
Thing, got him, man. But like the thing with Sandy Hook is like, I have actually looked into that conspiracy and like, I'm not saying it was a false flag or anything, but it was just some precautions weren't taken it for the like how you're officially supposed to, go in those situations, and some things weren't tackled the way they were supposed to, and it made it look dodgy, and it opened up the floodgates for conspiracies.
I have conspiracy friends that are like Sandy Hook was fake. They were like, it's bullshit, and I'm like, that is wild.
I can't get into them because like this is the thing. Like, stay with me. Every false flag gun shooting conspiracy.
No.
All of them from Columbine to Sandy Hook to even Port Arthur. I love the Port Arthur one. Like, did Martin Bryant the one from Australia?
Oh yes.
Like people like Martin Bryant was set up and all that. But the thing is, all of it comes down to the consensus of we want guns, and they're trying to take our guns away.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think that in itself is the psyop. They're going to take our guns away and they get you scared and all that. But in reality...
Well, you do know what happened here in Perth, right?
What happened here in Perth?
Do you not? Okay, so I called it the minute it happened. There was that shooting that happened at the school in like Two Rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was a teenager that drove past the school and shot at the school at night. We don't have the suspect or the gun. How the fuck do you know it was a teenager at night?
Yeah. That sucks.
You said all these things and then the first thing that happened within a week of that, they changed the gun laws. So then you go, okay, you were trying to change the gun laws. Then someone shot at a school. Now you've got a reason to change the gun laws.
They even said they wouldn't ban guns in Australia until like an act was committed in Tasmania. And it's like, what the... But...
The thing is, man, it's trying to take guns. Australia is a really, really good place to look as like a testing ground for other places in the world.
Oh yeah, we test things out for all other countries.
Well, you look what they did at COVID in WA. We got 99% of people vaccinated supposedly. That's fucking mental.
That is pretty nuts.
That is super compliant. And how many times do you see Mark McGowan go on stage going, we've got a very compliant company and we're just going to keep extending this bullshit out. I remember when it started and I was like, I've got a little bit of a science background. This isn't how medical trials work. I'm not going to take it.
100%.
And then they started doing shit and I was like, this is sus. And then it was like, oh, we're going to lose your job. And I was like,
but I feel that
I'm going to lose my job.
Different in a sense, the guns to the COVID and that. Whereas
it's all control.
But I don't like. This is where I lose a lot of conspiracy theorists, and I think you're being controlled by the gun manufacturers in thinking that you're free. Because
no,
you don't really like. Honestly, when
you're not truly free at all.
Is the last time you've actually needed a gun? Honestly, where we live, I get is different because we don't have.
It's a different. You got to look at it in a different way, right? It's not a fact of when you need a gun. It's the fact that they exist en masse with a lot of people, so it's harder to take control.
Yeah, but
not if you're going to use them.
It's going to be hard. It is going to be hard.
Yeah, but if you think, right, if we've got 3 million people in Perth and 2 million people own guns, do you think we would have had a 99.1% vaccination rate? Fucking no way. Because they would have been like, hey, if we start taking people's fucking jobs because they won't go get this thing, people are going to start shooting us.
Yeah, but
That's
they just
what they
have
think.
guns, bro.
Yeah, but if, look, I'm not saying we should have guns all the time and
I
everything.
hate to do the Jim Jeffries bit, but they have drones.
Yeah, I know. But
They have sonic weapons that they could just fucking drop you in the middle of the street.
Yeah, but that shows them. That shows who they are. The whole thing of control, right? Is you have to do coercive control. You can't be doing fucking war weapons and take out your own people.
I'm all for guns in the sense of having a license and proving that you're a sane person.
I'm just saying the reasoning for people saying that they want guns is because if there's more of them,
I get it.
there's less control, and it's not that the guns even need to be used. It's just it's a show of power. It's like intimidation, right? You wouldn't get as compliant if there's a bit of pushback on fear. The government doesn't fear our population in any way whatsoever. We are fucking cattle to them.
Yeah, but then
That's the
they
problem.
could just shut off our water.
They can't.
They could have us just exterminated in a week.
They can do this, but then they're fucked because we pay the bills.
No, but they could. People see the death and they'll just be like, "Fuck that!" And we've proven it time after time. If we're not going to revolt for a fucking 30% tax when they did it for 2% back in the day, I think they've proven we're not revolting whether we have guns or not.
Because it's just inching.
Look
Inching.
at America. They have their guns, but they're still losing rights left, right, and center, and they're
They
not
aren't losing it like we are.
not like we are, but they are still losing it,
Not
and their
even-
guns aren't saving anything.
It's not about using the guns. It's just about creating fear, right? And the fear has to go disproportionate ways. If the fear is all from the government, which isn't even real fear, it's just that we can't do anything about it. But if people have belief that they can do something about it, that starts movements of things happening.
What was the vaccination rate in America?
It depends what state you look at.
No, but so what was the average? 'Cause,
the average-
that's got to be in the 90s.
No, not even close, dude. Places like fucking Florida and Texas were below 50.
All right, I'll look it up.
Yeah, dude. You know how big? You know what the vaccination rate was in Tanzania and shit?
No. Oh, I
Zero.
don't look up
0%, brother.
about. Oh, that's vacation, that's vacation rate.
Not vaccination rate.
Not vaccination rate.
Man, it is. I was looking into all that data nuts back then because it was pissing me off
81% it was.
as average.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do they do in California as the fucking majority? If you look at go Texas, go Florida, the places where Florida was not forcing anyone to do it.
But that's why everyone went to Austin.
Yeah, a bunch of cunts went to Austin, they went to Texas, they went to fucking Florida because they were I don't have to do this shit here.
Yeah. But going back to the guns, though, I do feel like it is a forced narrative, whereas a lot of it are nothing arguments where even if we had guns, we couldn't change it, even as a fear tactic, because we still got to have the will to do it.
People still have to want to do it, yes.
But every time there is a school shooting, gun sales spike because people are scared they're going to take their guns away. Yes. More guns are bought, and NRA pops up right after that. They're just
That's people that are we know how to sell shit, so we're going to sell it.
Yeah, 100% sell tactics. But at the end of the day, gun control can work in America if they try. The Sandy Hook was a legit thing, even though it's fun to look at.
I know people that think it's not, and I was like, okay, that's interesting.
I mean,
I'm not deciding on anything.
I was really open. I really thought I was going to get sucked into it. I was I watched a couple of docos and I'm like, oh, I'm going to really believe this. But no.
I didn't. Sandy Hook wasn't interesting to me. It was just another school shooting. What was interesting is Alex Jones's trial and that.
Yeah.
And how much he had to pay. That was
$2
interesting.
billion, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's who's ever had a settlement like that? Because he just said some shit.
Apple hasn't had to pay out that for fucking people over before.
Using child slave labor.
Yeah.
Wild. It's to me, it's he talked shit. and some people got hurt about it. Understandably, if your kid did die and that is real and you got hurt about it, I would be pretty pissed off too. I don't think you can be like, you owe me money because you said it's fake. It's like, if you look at the reasons why he's saying it's fake, is because he doesn't trust the government in any way whatsoever because of all the shit that he's seen happen over the years.
Yeah, it's so dangerous as a society to say you can't question something.
Not even question it. You can't like expose it, talk about it, and then he gets sued for more money than he could possibly ever pay back.
Is it
That
true?
is weird.
Is it true that in the midst of all this, his InfoWars, the majority stock was taken and put out to sold out, and The Onion bought it?
I don't know exactly what happened.
Or was that just another Onion article?
Could have been it. I don't know exactly what happened with it, but I've seen how much he had to pay. I was like, that's weird. And then I'm like, that is actually, to me, that is very odd. That you're going to like try and like destroy this dude over words he said. Like, he didn't go and kill anyone. And there was some weirdos. I think there was some lunatics that went to like the people's houses and like were pissed off at him, like, you're a fucking crisis actor and shit. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But why is Alex Jones the one being sued for that?
Well, why
is it the lunatics that are going to their houses doing it?
That they harassed as a crisis actor was present for, was it like 2 or 3 different school shootings?
That's really weird.
Yeah, and it was just like some of them he was just there, and then people were like, he's an actor because he's reappeared, and so like that of course that's going to fuel the
either
thing.
he's
If I saw that myself, I'd be like, hang on,
either he's an actor or it's worse.
He's the one doing it.
He's involved somehow. You know what I mean? Like, if he's not an actor,
the Dexter of school shootings.
Well, man, you never know. Like, there could be some like weird, crazy plot where he is like indoctrinating these kids to go shoot up schools,
like a MK Ultra,
and then just watching it, being like, "Yes, get them."
Yeah, the kid looks no older than 14. He's not. I don't think he's got them skills.
Look, I'm just saying, it is weird, right?
Look into the Port Arthur one though, because there's a lot of people that are saying that Martin Bryant didn't do it, and like even the witnesses
the
of
Queensland
people
one,
there.
yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, the Tasmania one
that shot the cop, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't looked into it enough, but that one's fun.
That was timing on that was wild as well. That was yeah. Man, the thing is, right?
He didn't have a trial.
I know. Why would he?
He just got sent straight to prison.
That's it. You shot a cop. You fucked.
He shot about 20 people.
Oh, I might be thinking something different then.
No, we're talking about like the actual like cafe, not the cafe siege in Sydney, like the Port Arthur massacre.
No, I thought it was okay. No, I'm thinking about something completely different then. Thinking about something completely different. But like, I don't trust the government, right?
No.
So at that point, any of this stuff that they say, you're kind of like, well. And during COVID, I witnessed them lie more than I even thought possible.
100%.
So my trust that was already non-existent is gone completely now at this point. And now when I watch the news, I've never trusted the news. I've always said it's pointing one side of a story. Now it's like different. It's not even pointing one side of a story. They're literally making up shit and going, this is what we're doing.
I had one friend got misidentified leaving Metros in Fremantle. As a friend's sister, actually. But she was leaving and police misidentified her as someone else, and she was getting in the taxi. And they were like, you need to come with us. And she's like, what? So shocked. The sweetest person you could ever imagine that's like never been in any trouble, wouldn't even swear at someone, that type of woman, you know what I mean? And she's just pale face in shock, why are police talking to me? And they're screaming at her to get out of the car, and she's seeing the door open, just like, is this a bit? Is this what's happening? And I've just grabbed her face first into the concrete, jumped on her. And as one of the cops gone and put her in a headlock, they've missed and like put their arm around like her mouth. Her teeth's gone into their arm. Oh. Channel 7 News got basically they ran this story about how she was attacked the police officers, bit one of their arms. She spent 2 years in prison.
Wild.
Spent the sweetest person that wouldn't even like hurt a fly. Yeah. Would spend an hour shooing a fly out of the window. Because of the lies that our media puts for a good story, put an innocent woman in jail for 2 years.
What was the reason behind it? Just they're like, we'll make it sound better than it is.
I know.
Or then maybe they were trying to bring in fucking more of the put you in jail for hitting cops laws.
Probably.
It's,
I can't really remember what was happening legislatively or whatever it is around that time, but
I do find a lot of people that try and dismiss that organisation. They're like, nah, no way things can be that organised. It's like, cunt. Yes, they can. Like, they're literally running our country, and then you're going to be like, nah, they're not organised. That's insane. If you think that they're not that organised, how the fuck have you let them people be in charge? And how do you let them take 30% of your pay every week? If you don't think they're organised, how can they take that much money off you? How can we not fight that?
100%.
This has just become a
I say
slave colony.
ChatGPT for Prime Minister.
I think AI for control would be interesting.
Well, even not for like political control, but we're all saying like AI is going to take our job.
Well, that's fact.
Whose job's most at risk?
What do you mean?
CEOs.
Nah, they're the least likely job to go because the CEO. I was fucking around with this actually today, so I can tell you a little bit about it. I have a friend that's like really into AI, but I was trying to build a call bot on AI today with ChatGPT. So it will literally call up leads, chat to them, all the information I've got in my head because I train it, and then it will turn them into something that's a more formable lead as opposed to just a phone number and a name. And treat them like I would treat them on the phone. That's buildable by someone who can't code at all.
Yeah.
Cannot code, but you can make it because you can literally ask it all the information, you can get it, and then you just do the instructions and follow it. If you've got a big enough brain to like follow instructions, if you can build Lego, in my eyes, you can probably fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
And then you can create agents with a program called N8N. You use ChatGPT and N8N together to create an agent, which is realistically an employee, and you can get it to do fucking anything digital. So if you have like an account keeper, boom, you can turn them into that. If you've got like a fucking personal assistant, they can do all of that.
This is backing up my point of like the number one job it could take is a CEO.
Because a CEO is a straight up control freak of like, how do we make it?
Exactly. A CEO has so many personal biases. They just want to get as rich as possible.
Yeah, but that's the whole company.
Yeah. What if you had an AI to be like, an AI running it, being like, I'm not making any fucking money out of this.
Yeah, but then that wouldn't work, would it?
Why wouldn't it work?
Because it's not making money. Because
you still got the shareholders, still got the board.
Yeah,
you still got that. But like, you don't need
they are the
someone
ones who need
taking
money.
away millions to billions of dollars themselves a year.
But
And you've now got a system that's going to make ethical choices. Do you know how many CEOs?
I understand your nobility here.
Do you know how many CEOs make a bad business call for their own person? Not even just a bad ethical call, but a bad business call for their own personal.
That's so
gain.
many. But
Take it out.
if you're thinking of making the most ethical money, right? I don't think they're going to put AI in that spot. They don't, because most companies don't give a fuck about ethical.
Oh, 100%.
It's how much money can we make?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But for how long? Because how long until people turn around and be like, wait, if we don't have jobs, why does Elon Musk?
It also depends on how you consider what ethical is, right? So like what's good for them for many more than what it's bad for.
Oh yeah, there's no
ethical,
single good for anyone. Like a good for someone's always bad for somebody.
No, but if
else.
you look at something like McDonald's, right? Here's a bunch of reasons why McDonald's is a great business. One, it's convenient food for anyone that needs it and can't cook. I just made Macca's sound good. Macca's is fucked, but that's good, right?
Yeah.
Anyone can go into a Macca's any time of the day and they can get food if they can't cook, right? Doesn't matter if it's nutritious, doesn't matter if it's good for you, doesn't matter if it's fucking literally killing you, it's there. So you can eat it. You can have it. If you've got a broken leg, you can get it delivered to your house. Like you can just have it. So Macca's, you can go, we're helping people by giving them food. And you could be like, the food's poison.
Yeah, but they also have like a what was it, like housing charity?
Ronald
like
McDonald
houses. Yeah. When they're the number one owner of real estate in the whole world.
Oh, look, they're not. The church is.
The churches, that's true.
The churches.
Followed closely by Maccas.
Yes, they are. But
How many churches do we need, bro? I'm just saying, while we're on this, how many churches do we fucking need?
I don't know, man. I like churches.
How many are in the city, dude?
They're cool buildings. I like them.
They're cool, but like,
I would
surely just everyone could just fit in that one big church on the end of Murray.
I do like them. They're interesting to go and look at.
I think you should just all churches hit 9 p.m. Bang! You now house the homeless. You know what I mean? Or
I
at very
agree.
least,
I agree to a degree.
Or
Most of them do. Like a lot of churches do have people do that shit.
Yeah,
They do have like people that are trying to be charitable and do that kind of stuff. I mean, the thing. This is going to lead us into fucking Tartaria situation.
Oh yes, I love Tartaria.
It's a wild thing, but like you look
Doing the Jewish hand rub.
in churches and you look at like the architecture and how they're built and like the stories about how it's created by this is Tartarian bullshit, where it's created by frequencies. And they're like, that's how these buildings were built and shit. And you're like, that you can look at it and it's so symmetrical and it's like that could be a sound wave. And then it helps sound travel through their things in certain ways. So I don't like the idea of them buildings going.
Well, what did they all used to have at the very top of them?
Oh, man,
A bell.
yes. There's so much wild shit that I've read
Would
about.
just send frequencies, which is rumored to heal.
Well, I read this thing about they were trying to say that churches and places of worship and the whole like singing in churches and chanting and all that stuff has kind of changed because originally it was kind of like magic. So it would be like, hey, someone's got a disease, you bring them in here and everyone chants a certain sound and the frequency fucking fixes them and shit. I'm like, that's a wild idea. But imagine if it was real.
Yeah.
And you're like, if you're in the Middle Ages or something, you would believe that as well because the whole story of Jesus is some dude casting spells. You know what I mean? Like Jesus is just a magician, fucking turning bread into fucking like shit, doing weird shit, right? So why wouldn't you be able to go to a house of God and do some magic?
Well, that's
Why not?
That's basically Constantine's mission when he succeeded in combining all of the world's religions to create Christianity. Sort of, and in the also spell of having their own thing to like worship while dismissing all this other stuff about like sound frequency healing and just basically trying to squash people's connection with like real spirituality and connection to the universe through this book of this guy. But like, pyramids, frequency. What do you know about them?
What do I know about the pyramids?
And frequency. And
well, look, no one knows the truth.
But they were, but you got to, like, the power station theory is interesting.
That's fun. That's fun.
Right.
Yeah, that it's fucking going off the Earth's resonant frequency. But that's I like the idea that, you know how I've always thought it was a tomb? That it's a tomb, but the tomb is much, much bigger. And it's using the Earth's frequency to use the power to keep whatever's entombed underneath it entombed. So you've seen
like Leviathan sort of like.
Well, supposedly it's like Anunnaki, some cunts reckon, or like Enlil and Enki. Or I think Enlil's the bad one. I think. So I don't have all the shit locked in my brain that well. I've got a mate who's deep. But you know how they've got them pillars under the pyramids now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
can I add a quick thing about that? Underneath the pyramids, there's a body of water.
where?
Underneath the Giza pyramid, there's a natural reservoir.
Okay. Where's the reservoir?
Right under the pyramid.
How far under?
Like pretty fucking close.
Really?
Yeah. That also goes into the power station theory. But so underneath, heaps of water. Maybe that's what those things are going down. Well, is maybe just water disturbance underneath the pyramid.
No, because it was too symmetrical. That LiDAR scan.
But the LiDAR scan as well doesn't actually... The ones that they used the technology doesn't actually work that way. They put something out.
Have you been listening to Zawi Hawass or some shit? That
No,
man's
I
retarded.
hate that man.
That's a person who just goes, no.
I want to challenge him to a official MMA fight. Dana White will
old,
sponsor
dude.
it.
He's old.
Yeah, well, he can bring one of his paleontology buddies.
Just some crispy old carcass.
Yeah.
No, so the idea is like, because you know how they've got them big squares underneath the pillars.
Yeah.
That's the tomb.
You reckon?
I don't know. I don't reckon anything. I just read shit and I get told shit and I'm like, this is interesting.
Fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, like but for anyone to say they know is insane unless
nobody
it happens.
knows. But my idea. So you know what all the things that the pyramids are made of? Like got apparently a golden cap and then quartz, granite, limestone. Granite and quartz are a good conductor of electricity, whereas limestones are a good insulator, like to repel it. There's two little slots that go down to the Queen's Chamber, and I can't remember the exact chemicals that were used in the process, and it's going to bug me all night that I can't remember these two, but they've actually found traces of those chemicals in these shafts. They go down to the Queen's Chamber. And
was one of them mercury?
Yeah, I think maybe. I'm not confident to say it without actually.
Okay, yep.
But when those two substances mix, which if they did in the Queen's Chamber, it can actually create two things: an explosion and a high amount of hydrogen gas.
Hydrogen gas is good, but
yeah, and under intense pressure, it can go bang.
Yeah.
And whereas you look at the shaft that we know of, are those actually steps because they have those things on the top as well, or those resonators? What's the residue of like a hydrogen explosion?
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Water.
Okay, yeah.
And then straight down below into the the reservoirs, like all the
I didn't know there was reservoirs under it.
Yeah, it's nuts. And this goes deeper because like we'll go deeper. Like you know the tomb, like what the supposed tomb, like in the King's Chamber.
Yeah.
You know how like no human would fit in that.
Yeah.
You know what would fit in that?
Giant.
The Ark of the Covenant perfectly.
No, they reckon that's in Ethiopia, don't they?
Yeah. Well, but who
right.
did Moses steal the Ark from?
Did you
He stole it from Egypt. And like there's a whole theory about Moses actually being an electrician. Like he's the guy that actually built the pyramid power stations, and and that's the actual main generator because people have recreated the Ark, and people got electrocuted from it.
Well, no, because the Ark's meant to be like, they reckon it's full of like nuclear shit.
Yeah, even nuclear, electrical.
Yeah. But there was someone talking about, some remote viewers were talking about the Ark's protected by like some entities.
True.
And I was like, that is wild.
Do you reckon it's in Ethiopia, or do you reckon the US has already just gone in?
Fuck knows, dude.
Giving them some freedom.
It's too insane. The Ark of the Covenant is such a like, it just seems wild. There's so many little things like that out there that when you finally hear about it, you're like, what the fuck?
Because like
What is that?
a real religious person. I'm able to find like something within. I'm very spiritual and connected to the universe. I do say God and that from time, but not in any like Christian or Judeo sense. Like in my own like to the universe. But I really love debunking everything about like religion.
I used to.
As I sort of can.
But it's all like, it's really interconnected. And there's something going on there. You know what I mean? Like, I think religion, there's some basis where they've all stolen and tried to control and all that kind of shit. But there's still some like wild stories in the Bible. that you're like, how the fuck was this just like a story? And someone's like, hey, this is a cool story, let's tell it. But then have you seen that the shroud, Jesus' shroud?
Yeah, that's been the thing with it, the cloth.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been proven to be like nowhere near the age that it's required to be.
When?
It's been pretty recently.
Okay, you got to show me. I'm certain that I've recently looked at that and it was still like, how the fuck does this thing exist? And that is wild.
I don't think he existed.
Jesus. Well, I don't look.
Didn't we have this chat the last podcast where I went through like how he's related to the stars or nah?
Yeah, but like Jesus could have been a dude, but I just mean there's weird things over time, whether it's Jesus or the Ark of the Covenant or fucking shroud.
But it's all just sun worshipping, and that's why it's the same, because you get the same result if you pull from the same coordinates. Yeah. It's all just like December 31st, the star in the east. If you draw a line between that and the Orion's belt, the Three Kings, you find where the sun's born. Three Kings follow the star in the light to find where the sun will be born.
Well, that's all symbolism.
It dies on the cross because like the rotation, the thing of the sun gets lower and lower. And around Easter, it dies for 3 days. Like it stays where it is under the Southern Cross, and on the third
Easter
day it
was
rise.
Pagan before Christian.
Yeah, but that also like came down because they got that from that exact what I was saying.
Yeah, it's the same. It's using the sun as information.
It's about the days getting brighter and crops gonna give more. Spring. Yeah, crops going to give more yield, and that's why it's the holiday for fertility.
Yes. Eggs.
Yes.
Because
Eggs
we can
Benedict.
eat again.
Let's go. If you're not eating Eggs Benedict on fucking Easter, what's wrong with you?
I don't do Easter anymore at all.
Nah.
I just trained my kids to be like, we're not doing this. It's too commercial. It's bullshit.
Too commercial.
And I hate chocolate now. I'm trying to quit chocolate on a whole.
You should make them make their own eggs. No, or give them an actual chicken egg and be like, no, we're adults in this.
No, because
cook me an Eggs Benedict.
Also, keep in mind, right? It's the opposite in Australia. It's not coming out of winter going into spring. We're coming out of summer going into autumn. It's the opposite. I'm like, so all this commercialized bullshit of like, hey, we got to go buy chocolate. We got to go do this shit. Like I taught them from young that we'd only buy blocks of chocolate on Easter. And I was like, why are we buying a box of chocolate? We explained to him. I'm like, hey, Easter egg, less chocolate, higher price because of the shape. That's dumb. That's marketing. You don't want to fall for these tricks. You want to eat chocolate? Cool. Doesn't need to be in that shape.
How straight up are you with your kids about all this? About like
Christmas
and everything?
Yeah.
Have you told them about spider goats yet?
What the fuck do you mean spider goats?
Spider goats.
What the fuck is spider goats?
Spider goats.
I don't know what spider goats are. What is this?
Well, spider goats are real. Okay, let's start off with that. Spider goats are real.
I need more information than spider goats are real.
Well, this is going to annoy me because this was also saying Alex Jones and was real like fucking, 10, 12 years ago?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So the spiders, but they're goats.
So are they just big spiders?
The US government, of course they did, they crossbred like spiders with goats.
This is dope.
And they made spider goats. And now this is where I might lose you. Stay with me because when I was looking into this is when I almost flipped the table and I was like, nah, someone's fucking with me. They produce a thing called silk milk.
Dope.
That's it. I was like, stay with me.
This is amazing.
So they have silk milk, and this silk is I shouldn't call it silk milk. I'm decrediting myself, but the silk that comes from these spider goats is the most highly tensile substance we have.
Okay.
So they're making body armor with it.
Okay.
So we're using spider goats to protect us at war.
So
and some people are saying that, like Santa still exists to their kids. It's like, what are you on about, dude? There's enough going on in the world. You're going to confuse them. They'll be like, wait, so the guy that wears a red puffy jacket's not real, but fucking spider goats?
Well, Coke made Santa, right?
Yeah. It was a marketing thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what they didn't make? Spider goats.
Well, that sounds like US gum. I've got a belief that
It was Yale or Harvard, one of them. Please look it up. But no one believes me. No one will look it up. Everyone will just be like, "You're crazy."
I'm interested in spider goats and their silk milk.
Just don't look at the pictures. The pictures are all just fake.
Well, yeah, that's gonna happen. That's the internet.
Oh,
But is there pictures of these spider goats?
I get frustrated trying to find the actual pictures from them because the people make pictures of like 8-legged goats, and it's
because I'm interested in what a real spider goat looks like.
It probably just looks like a fucking
spider,
a genetic glob. Probably it probably looks like neither.
Well,
it's just one big teat.
Why did the goats
eight teats on a strand?
Just going. How? What was the purpose of making the goat in the spider to make the silk better?
I'm not really on a large talking basis with the scientists. I didn't really get like the consensus.
That's the question I have, man.
I don't know why
goat. Like,
I don't know what inspires scientists. I think I don't know what's happening with science.
Them, dude. Cookery.
I still think that we literally just have like people in like witch doctor masks. We're doing chants, and they're just like they're just doing random shit for the fun of it, and that's how they found penicillin.
Bro, that is 100% happening.
they got to be doing that. Like,
there's definitely scientists that are just like, I want to cook shit up.
And there's too many scientists just having fun with it. Like CERN.
That's dope.
There's too many conspiracies around CERN. You're gonna have your staff like get in like a satanic circle in robes and chant.
Like CERN helped create the internet, right?
Yeah, look, all I'm saying is CERN needs to crack down on their, like, CERN, if you're listening, I'll be your PR guy. Get me in HR, PR, I'll fix it all. No one will have these conspiracies. Because, like, I would walk out, see them chanting and just be like, guys, what are you doing? We've got enough dramas going on. They think we literally created a new fucking, like, the Mandela effect. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you guys, we've got the statue of Krishna or whatever the fuck it is, like the Shiva. Yeah, Shiva.
Yes.
And you're chanting outside of it on a full moon night. What is going on?
CERN is dope.
It's cool.
I enjoy CERN a lot.
But at what point you grab your scientists and say, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
No, I like scientists doing the wild shit.
I like it.
They're way better than the ones doing the vaccine shit.
In fact, I know this is...
Them ones aren't trying to make money. They're just going, we need to break the universe. That's what they're trying to do, dude. They're like, this simulation's fucked, and I'm going to break it. And that's cool to me. I like that way more.
It is cool, but...
Like
CERN does need to chill out a little.
Nah, man, they're going to go harder.
It's like the logo looks like 3 6s on top of each other. It's like, why are you doing this?
They're going to open the portal so we can leave the simulation, dude. Here's a wild thought. Have you looked at much to do with Neuralink?
Not a whole lot. I don't trust it.
Trusting it would be
If you
wild.
put a chip in my brain and you can read my brain, the dark thoughts I have, like on an hourly basis, I'm going to prison.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Like, it's nothing weird. Like, I'm not like got sexual fantasies, but like every day it's like, what if I kick this person in the back of the head?
Oh, that's standard. Don't you drive to school and just be like, I could plow down 20 kids. I literally say 20 points and point at old people.
My toxic trait is sometimes just driving down the road and see someone walking, I'll just go... and never explain it to the person that's in the passenger seat.
That one's dead. What?
They're like, what the fuck did you...
Got him.
Yeah.
No, Neuralink I think is a fun one. It's a wild thing coming up, I think. It is... Like, they can put things in your brain. So if they can put things in your brain that can help you see, help you walk, help you do everything, then it could control all those things, right?
It has to be able to.
So if it can help you see, then why couldn't it just project a new reality into your eyes and make you believe that you're there to turn you into a battery or whatever? You
know about the mind reading that they do?
Which ones?
I don't know if it's Neuralink that's doing it, but there's a conference where they were talking about how AI can now read your brain.
Yeah. That's not Neuralink. But yes.
But yeah, the person was
They can-
thinking
yeah.
of a giraffe, like of a picture of a giraffe,
Yes.
and then actually it was able to project us, not the exact picture, but close enough.
Super interested in them doing that with like people that are really good at dreaming, because I would be curious to see if they could create my dreams from an AI reading my mind.
Have you seen any of these AI videos? Those are my dreams. A guy walks out of a van and turns into a motorcycle, and he's just, and then his chicken spouts
my dreams
from it.
aren't toast. Mine are good.
You don't smoke as much weed as I
I don't smoke weed at all. So there's that.
There's that. Sometimes you just need to have a joint and just try and decipher your dreams one morning. You wake up.
I try and
you're just
decipher my
like,
dreams
what could
like
that have possibly been?
every morning, dude. I love it.
Oh, there's
I've
no
got dream journals
deciphering.
and shit. I write it all.
And I forget mine within 3 minutes. The whole
that's-
dream's forgotten. So like I wake up and it's just me clawing at trying to catch that dream.
You know what the trick is, right? Is you get like so I first did this with like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 phones, like the button phones. So I could like write messages without looking at my phone. So you lay there in the same position you woke up in, grab your phone and write down whatever you can in as much detail about your dream without opening your eyes. Just be like, no phone's there. And the more detail you can pick up before you open your eyes and roll over and start doing the day, the more you can retain. And the more you do that, the better you get at retaining dreams.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yes, if you go through my phone, you'll see some wild fucking shit.
I don't think I want to reframe my dreams, man. I've got some weird dreams.
But they're the best ones. Like when you get some like really weird shit and you're like, what was that? Where was I going? How did this happen? How did my brain create this? Like I'm nearly of the belief that that's other lives or that's other universes.
Different dimensions, sort of.
There's some stuff that I've happened in dreams and I'm like, I've woken up from a dream where I had memories in the dream and the memories felt real, but I knew the dream wasn't real, but the memories felt real. And I was like, hey, what the fuck? And I like had to try and like figure out if those memories were real or not. Like I had some like, I hid memories from myself. That's what it felt like. It felt like I'd kind of unlocked my own memory of like some shit that went down. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, was that real? And then I had to like really pick the memory apart to go like, oh, there's no way that's real because that doesn't line up with that. So that can't be. But to me, that's fucking mental.
I have like towels in my dream where I can just tell I'm dreaming.
Well, do you know what to do then, right? If you know you're in a dream, you can control the dream.
Yeah, like lucid dream and all that sort of shit. Yeah, but like for me, I've got a weird one because I played American football, like gridiron for Claremont, and I was a cornerback for a bit, and then I was like safety. But I spent so long running backwards, like squatting down, running back, as they do, that now if I'm like running and not getting anywhere in a dream, I'll just turn around and run backwards, and I get there hella quick. And it fucked me up for so long. I'm like, why? What? And I think I worked it out. And it's the same with like you can't run fast in your dream, you can't punch hard in your dream and all that. I think it's because it like requires such a body movement. Where if you were to punch without really moving, it would be a weak punch. If you were to run without actually taking those strides,
do you know what it is?
You'd be running slow. But if you run backwards, you're not actually moving that much. It's just...
It's a belief thing.
Belief?
It's a belief. So in a dream, whatever you believe is true, right? So if you feel like, oh, my arm's not moving well, I must be in a dream. And then you're like, oh, why can't I punch hard? Because you're thinking literally, why can't I punch hard? You will continue not to punch harder and it'll be harder. But if you said, I actually can punch hard, you would start punching hard. So it's like whatever your belief is in the dream becomes true, which is like, that helped me believe that in life you can do the same thing.
Do you think boxers have that same dream, like they can't punch hard?
No, because I've had dreams where I can like pop heads off with baseball bats and shit.
Yeah, right.
So like,
imagine being a boxer that gets that dream of like you can't punch it, and you like every morning you're like, I'll fucking show you.
I think it's like a it's a confidence trait dream. That's what it's meant to be. It's like you lack confidence in something, so you're not confident in running or punching or swimming or whatever it is, and you can't do it good. But it's like it's your brain trying to tell you like you need to gain more confidence in something else.
Yeah, right.
That's what it's meant to be.
So what happens if you're just like kicking goals in that aspect in your dream? Like you can just successfully do something. Does that mean you're like, no?
I know that one was. And I could be very wrong because I think dreams is such an unmappable, uncontrollable, ununderstanding world. It is as magical as like Jesus. Dreams are weird, man.
Yeah, I've walked on water in my dreams before, that's for sure.
I quite literally dream every night and record shit nearly every night.
Nah, I've got to stop smoking so much weed because it does prohibit your dreams.
I've heard,
But,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I enjoy dreaming. I sleep more at the moment so I can dream.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I wake up at like 4. I woke up at 4.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah.
I was going to say, not in the hour. My grandma did that today. You know that joke I have about like passed out or passed away? Yeah. I'm like taking care of my grandma at the moment. But yeah, at 5 o'clock she woke up this arvo and I was just like all day like, are you coming? Like, are you coming like out?
No, I
hope she was having a good dream.
I woke up at 4 in the morning thinking about how space might be the 4th dimension. That's the shit I wake up to, and I'm like, go back to sleep, can't.
We need to actually have like a chat. I won't say it on the pod now because my theory hasn't like got enough, like hasn't fleshed out. But my thoughts about how we're actually in the 4th dimension.
Get it out now. This is where it is. If it's not fully
not sure
functioning,
if it's like fleshed or whatnot, but like I just got really stoned and like and sometimes you're just like almost like in a meditative state and like
things make sense.
Yeah. So how would I even begin to explain it? But like, so you got to think about dimensions as like they're in their literal sense. Like you've got 1 dimension, 2 dimensions.
Yes, that's how you should think about dimensions.
Yes. They're not universes. Like a parallel universe is another dimension.
No, that's another universe.
Parallel universe.
Yes.
They're completely different. And everyone's saying like maybe like time's the 4th dimension, all these different.
That is a belief. Yes.
Well, like we can't perceive a 4th dimensional eye because like just in the same way we can't truly perceive like a 2-dimensional to understand.
We can perceive it because we can see it and we can understand it, but we couldn't perceive being what it would feel like being it.
No, we think we can. But for a 2-dimension, you just say this, it's like...
I've explained this about 1,000 times on the podcast, but yes, I know exactly how you're going to explain
it. There's no this thickness.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's literally
see it. You literally can't see it. You look through it because it doesn't have any levels of depth.
No, you wouldn't see what the shape is. You would just see it as a line because it would always be a line.
No, but then how you can't see that line because there's no thickness.
2-dimensional is impossible to see at all because you can't be a 2-dimensional being.
Yeah, and same with like a 1, but
a 1 is a dot.
Yeah, well, 1 is, but that fucks me up even more because it's not even a dot because you don't have this way, that way. You've just got...
1 is nothing.
It's just like a line.
No, 1 is 0. A line is 2.
Like, but my thought is, what if the 1st dimension actually is the navigation across those...
What do you mean?
Those dimensions. Where
the moving and forward, backwards, left, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if time is actually like the 1st dimension of just being, like existence and all, and then comes the traveling along, like literally if you think about time in like a sense of what people do as well, they think of it like a beginning end sort of like almost like the closest representation to like the 1st dimension as you can sort of, so they could be one in the same or it could be like that, I'm not doing a really good job explaining this. I haven't like fleshed it out.
I'm getting a bit of an idea.
But yeah.
Because we can't travel both ways in it. It seems like it's like more like it's the 1st dimension because we can't understand how it works properly. Is that what you're trying to say?
Not exactly, but kind of.
But like it's linear. Whereas like if someone drew a line in 1-dimensional or 2-dimensional, it would be linear. So if you're a 2-dimensional being, you would be like, I don't understand how this works, but it's always gone that way. So as three-dimensional beings having time as the first dimension
I've got
is
a
linear.
bunch of mushrooms I'm planning to take that I'm going to go so deep into this.
And try and figure that
I'm
out.
going to be the next, like, Alan Watts.
Alan
Even though
Watts.
he had nothing to do with this shit. But I'll just get
Yeah.
all, like, philosophical.
So
with it.
my thought that I woke up to quite literally this morning was space encases us completely, like the Earth completely, right? So a fourth of, like, you know what a tesseract is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a tesseract kind of like it encases an entirety of a square because you can move in any direction outside of the square and you'd be four-dimensional, right? As soon as you move outside of it, you're in four-dimensional space in however direction that works because we can't really understand it. So space is meant to be a vacuum that doesn't abide by time because space and time are the same thing. That's why they call it space-time, right? So once you're in space, time doesn't work the same because of gravity.
That's where I'm saying they're not the same. That
Yeah,
they
no,
are
no.
separate, but you can't have space without time and we don't have time without space, but they are different
No, but I mean like space outside of Earth, time doesn't move because they reckon gravity is what makes time moves. That's the relativity, right? So space encases Earth, and the minute you get into space, you're four-dimensional technically. Does that mean that you beat time? Is that what happens when you enter space as a human being? Because the only people that have been to space, if you want to believe this bullshit, is the moon landings, right? That's wild. So anyone else is going to get into space and stay in there, like proper space, not like lower Earth orbit or shit. I mean like space out there. Does time work the same considering it doesn't work the same?
No,
So does that mean it is
relativity, Einstein's law?
Yeah, so I mean, but like once you're in the vacuum, then it's not happening anymore.
I think it would still happen to the sense of how, because there's still always gravity to a sense. Like even Pluto's still being pulled by our sun, which is still being pulled by the black hole in the middle of the galaxy. So there's still like
Gravitational pulls, yeah.
gravitational pulls.
But that's because of their mass to the mass of where it's going.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a speck, like that's why asteroids can travel in opposite directions or in different things because their mass isn't big enough to pull them towards, right? So if a space shuttle with humans gets out there, does time work? Or does that mean you can go backwards and forwards in time? Because if you like the thing is we can look back at the Big Bang, right? And go, cool, that's the Big Bang. Because we can look back in time because the light doesn't travel far enough. So if we can look back at the Big Bang, can't we then look forward into the end of the universe? But we can't, right?
No.
So how can we only travel backwards if we can travel forwards? And who decides which direction that truly is? And I've also got another weird theory that I think that if we're in a black hole, which they think we might be, that the singularity is the Big Bang. So we're not actually seeing the beginning of the universe, we're seeing the end of the universe.
Yeah. So I love that theory so much.
It'd be fun.
Because how is everything? They're like, oh, everything was like the size of a pinhead. How did they get to that?
Well, do you know
all these black holes just kept coming one
do you know what the math is?
And then bang, it's just in and out. It's like a lung.
Yeah, well, that's what the math is. The math goes, they've got white holes now. And a white hole is the complete opposite of a black hole. So it's pushing shit out. So the Big Bang was a white hole. So you go, cool, if Big Bang was a white hole, started from a black hole, it's just one in, one out.
Have you heard the short story, The Last Question?
No.
Oh, it's really cool. And it was written like almost 100 years ago. But it's so relevant, sort of the beginning of it's so relevant to today and that. And it's a story that goes over like millions of years, maybe billions. And it started with like these scientists that created an AI that can like, you know, answer anything and is like self-power sourced.
Yeah.
And they're like solar power. And they're like, yeah, we did it, you know. we've got answers to the end of time. One of the drunk scientists is just like, oh, we're not really, just till the sun burns out. And then they ask this all-knowing thing, just like, oh yeah, so like how do we stop that? He's like, well, the aging of the universe. He goes, yeah. And he's like, well, that's called entropy. And they're like, oh yeah, like how do you reverse entropy? And he's like, don't have enough meaningful data to give a meaningful answer. And this story just follows the progression of man and AI. Like it goes to a point where like humans leave Earth and they're on these ships, and each ship is powered by an AI. And once again, they ask the same question: how do you stop entropy, the decay of the universe? And it's like not enough data to give a meaningful answer. And it's just really cool watching how, like, because you just jump so significantly forward in time to, I swear, at one point it's like AI isn't actually physical anymore. It's
just thought.
Yeah. So it's all like it's in hyperspace is like where it resides, and then you could just speak out to it and it like speaks back, and then humans eventually
like consciousness.
Yeah. Humans eventually leave their actual state and become like beings, like spirits or something. And they keep asking the same question. They keep getting the same answer. Eventually, there's just man, and there's like machine, and man it's almost like paralleling between consciousness or like God or like there's so many different parallels you can pull between them. But in the final moments of the universe, as it's all collapsing, there's only man and AI left, and man reaches out and asks, how do we stop this? And same answer, not enough data to give, and then man dies, and then in the final moments of the universe, and it's all ticking sort of down, the AI was like, oh, I have the answer, but like there's no one to now
give the answer to.
Yeah. He's like, but I think I can do this myself. Let me see if I can do this. And he goes, let there be light.
Ah, yes.
Crazy. Look it up. It's a really good story.
That's interesting. Trying to say where God came from AI.
Yeah. Well, it's like, very, very, very interesting.
That's good. I like that. I reckon we're close to wrapping up time. But before we wrap it up...
Oh, I didn't even get on any of the anti-Semitist stuff. Oh, my God.
I was going to say, congratulations on Mad Cow hitting 1 year.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I thought you were going to say congratulations on not being anti-Semitic on a podcast. It's like, I never do that.
No.
We're not like that. We're not those podcasters.
I'm equally tease everything. I have no bounds. Like, you're all in the same boat.
I go by the definition of Semite, which is like from Shem, so like that's anyone with Arabic speaking land. So like it's Arabs, like I'm anti-Semite to Arabs, Muslims.
I heard
Jews.
someone making this argument the other day, and I was like, "What is going on here?"
I'm just stirring the pot.
Sometimes.
I'm stirring the pot. But yeah, Madcow, 1 year, it's been great.
Yes.
That's our little open mic room that, we run on Mondays for anyone listening in Fremantle.
It's free tickets in Fremantle.
Yeah, we run a free show, which everyone...
By donation. You should donate if you go there.
Should donate, but if you can't, we get that. But
it's the only free show in Perth.
Yeah, I think it actually might be.
100% the only free show.
Yeah, there are other donation shows, but
is there?
You got to pay like a set
that's only just started, but that's only just started.
Yeah. But
yours is the only literal free show where it's like, hey, we don't care if you don't pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was real hard to get people in the door at the beginning, and there was some shows with like 5 people in the audience.
Yeah, but man, and everything starts bad.
Yeah. But a lot of people wanted to come in, but no one wanted to pay money for a Monday show.
Yeah.
Until they had seen it a couple of times. They're like, this is actually a sick show.
It is.
And no one believed that a show on a Monday could work.
I think if you done the thing, you went, I believe it, I'm going to do it, and you're like, I don't give about shit about making money. I just want this to happen.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to lie. I did want to make money from it at first, as everyone sort of does. But I like came to a point where it was like, oh, do I want to get money in my pocket or do I want these comedians gigging in front of an audience? And and then eventually people that would regularly come, they're like, no, I do want to give you some money. And then I'm like, oh, but then I can't sell you tickets if like these people I've just let in for free. So that's why I made it like the donation. So it's pay what you think the show's worth. And it's been good. Everyone that's gigs there, their progression is getting much better.
Well, dude, it's a consistent. Mad Cow has been shouted out on this podcast 1,000 times.
Oh, true?
Yes, we always.
Let's go.
Pretty much any time there's a comedian on here, Mad Cow gets spoken about somewhat because we know it's fun. It's a room you can come in, do whatever the fuck you want. You can test the new shit and really figure it out. Sometimes I get frustrated in there because I'm like the audience is not on board.
Oh, Josh Durkins hates so much.
I could tell he hates
because
that.
He's got like that set. He's got the one-liner sort of. Yeah. He needs to have their attention, and when they heckle him, and
well, it's like I swear sometimes in there, it's the crowd must be specific to that room.
Yeah,
because the reactions come in weird spots, whereas like other rooms, you can have some consistency. Mad Cow does not have consistency.
Oh yeah, like you can hit an absolute banger of a joke and that lands everywhere else, and it like
doesn't hit at all.
And then you're like, what the fuck? And then you say something like that to try and fix it. That in any other club you would bury yourself, and then they laugh, and it's like you're laughing at the shit.
I'm confused.
I'm conflicted.
But it's like good that it confuses you because it makes you really like think about stuff.
Yeah,
I enjoy that. I do like the fucking weird ass characters that pop in.
Oh yeah,
because there's always like not always, but like I swear every second show there's a heckler of some sort.
That's one of the other things that another battle I had to choose. There was like constantly shushing people, and it got the audience all sort of upset, which no one likes being shushed. I mean, like if people are paying for tickets, it's like shush, this person's paid, and like, oh yeah, fair enough. But when it's
the rat
free,
is fun.
Yeah, and I realized I was like, where does any comic have that they can practice working with this audience?
Yes,
because there's not enough places where you can practice.
Well, everyone's running tight ships.
Yeah,
and a tight ship is dope. Don't get me wrong, but you need like some rowdiness.
Oh, 100%.
To get used to rowdiness, because if you get shot with rowdiness out of nowhere, oh fuck.
And it also came from working at the Comedy Lounge for so long and having like to the T, like you can't have anyone on for 30 seconds more. You'll throw out the whole night, and like, you know what I mean? It's the tightest running ship almost in the world for comedy. Like the turnovers between shows are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah. And like that's actually what I thought comedy was for a long period of time, was basically like stage, curtain, all these lights, like a big production sort of thing. And it wasn't until I remember one Fringe I went to like years and years ago, and you know Amos Gill.
Yes,
I was watching Amos Gill at the court upstairs, and it was just like he's a star. But he's just gigging to like 12 people in like fold up chairs, and I couldn't believe it. It broke my whole like reality of what comedy could be. And then
that's amazing. Like you got a breakthrough point where you're like, hey, wait, this is way more like
and it felt
nothingness.
More personal, and like because you know it's like it's not a show where there's like there could be glass there. You never know, but
you have to like when it's smaller shows. I think you have to be more personal. It has to be more
100%.
If you want to keep you...
I've done a gig for 2 people before. That was awesome.
Yes, I've done a 2 and a 3 and a 4.
Oh, yeah. At that point, you just sit down. You sit you sit on a stool, you sit on the stage, and you have a yarn to them.
Like 5-minute spots. I was like, I've still got my jokes. I'm still going to run it. It's that testing of like, hey, 4 people. If I can make 3 laugh out of 4.
10 minutes to 2 people at Fringe, and that was fun.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're best mates now.
I haven't done any tiny things at Fringe. Oh no, the first time I did a Slouches gig at Fringe was 4 people and 3 of my friends.
I get the weirdest fringe shows. I get on the weirdest lineups all the time.
Oh, I'll take all weird lineups.
I did the Immigrant Show.
What?
Yeah, Border Force. I did a spot on the Immigrant Show.
That's hilarious.
And like the whole gist is like the best gets a visa and the worst gets deported.
Yeah.
And like I go up there and I'm like everyone's like Pakistani or from the UK.
Yeah.
And there's me like just from down the road.
Hey.
I just had to put on like Legacy's like accent.
Just went Liverpoolian.
Yeah, just went like a Liverpool guy. Just went up there like, hey lad, what's going on? Fucking, we're going sick. Like, that's not my accent. Don't deport me, please. I love my land.
So I got a question about like Mad Cow, right?
Yeah.
What is your goal going forward with it?
Goal going forward.
Yeah. Or have you never considered this? You're just like, I just do it.
Or there's a few ideas all about. Like there's more than one Buffalo club in Perth.
Oh yeah.
So we could get a couple, like one going on each night of the week almost.
The Buffalo Club in Freo is the only one that's like actively open.
Maybe. I haven't
Is
looked
it?
into
Like,
the
other
others
ones
enough.
that, like would just be like normal clubhouse kind of things. Like
Maybe. Well, that one, they would close at 5. They've kept that open for us up till 10. Like, which massive shout out to the Buffalo Club to be like, hey, we're keeping the venue open 5 hours for free for you guys, pay staff and all that.
well, they do get piss sales.
Yeah, they
And,
didn't at first when there was fuck all because people would just come watch the free show and just drink some water and that.
But
And
that's that thing of like building. Like they've got to have some kind of faith it's got to build. And you have built it. Like the last show, the first birthday show I was at,
oh, that was insane.
there's like 50 people there. Like
Yeah,
50
we ended
crowd
up having
members.
about 36, 40 comedians hop up on
Yeah,
stage.
plus 50 fucking cunts that are just there to watch.
Yeah.
Like we counted at one point. I was like, this is dope.
Yeah, it was huge. People
was
standing up
packed,
the
yeah.
back. I ran out of chairs.
It was very good.
And yeah, wild. It was a fun night.
It was a very fun night.
I'm thinking we should do the sausage sizzle more often.
I think, yeah, unless health inspectors are like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're a bit strict about that. But no,
was good,
it's
but-
going good. There's also Buffalo clubs around the world, so like it could even has the potential, like set them up in different states or different,
Yeah.
wherever. Just hopefully those ones aren't got like a connection to the Illuminati.
Well, I had to read up what the Buffalo Club was when I
Well,
first
they used
came
to
there.
apparently be like connected to the Masons and shit like that.
Yeah,
until-
it's definitely just like a special kind of social club.
I went in the office the other day and like I shit you not, it was a
Nice.
room just a bit bigger than this, and there was like 2 judges things, like one this side and one the other side. They've had the gapples and all that, and
Yeah.
one says like open session is like private set or closed session, and it's just where they do the voting. And I was like, I'm not going in that room. I know I have to pick that up for you, but you can carry that yourself, love. I was like, I am not going in that room. I'm going to get sacrificed. That looks like where every important decision ever has been made.
About the Buffalo Club.
You know, about the world.
No.
That looks like it.
It was for like piss heads. That's
Monday,
what it was for.
Monday, I'll show you the office. I'm
Yeah,
not going in, but I'll show you, and you'll be like, nah.
I'll go in for sure, dude.
You come straight back here and do a solo podcast about
I
it.
was in the room.
You'll do an impromptu
Nodding.
I saw it. I saw where
Are
they
you
make.
open this Monday for the public holiday?
Oh no, we're not. Fuck. Yeah.
In a fortnight then.
In a fortnight, I'll show you.
Fortnight.
Oh my god, I got Monday free.
No, in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks. Not a fortnight. In 3 weeks.
I've got you emceeing again soon.
I think that's what I'm seeing. It's 3 weeks.
Yeah, sick.
Mid-June.
I think next week we got Jamie Salt. I just got to double check that with her.
June 15th. No, 16th. June 16th. There we go. Mad Cow. I'm emceeing.
All right, so if you ever wanted to see
come.
Darcy gig and like not only just do 5 minutes and be done, because that's what it's like in comedy. It sucks because it is hard to support people that you like if they've got pod or do something else, or even if you just see them on stage. You usually only get like 5 to 7 minutes, and it's a lot to go watch one person for that long.
Well, it's like...
But you get to see others, I suppose.
Fringe is where it's better.
Yeah, Fringe is where it's better. But like an open mics, you're sort of like, oh, I wanted to see that Darcy, like a little bit more of his,
Yeah.
So if you
It's
want to
still-
see more of Darcy, he's emceeing. He's going to be doing jokes all night. So
I'll
check
be
him
the
out.
one controlling the show. which means lots of roasting the old Ice King in the corner.
You could do something interesting if you get this portable or something. You could set up like a podcast in the green room during the show.
Oh, that would be a fucking nightmare to deal with.
Oh, logistically, it's fucked.
It sucks a dick.
But like, imagine that you're just interviewing people and you're running back to bring out different acts and shit.
That would be no. I'm not doing that. That is insane. That is a. I love the idea. Not. That is fucked. It's like I'm going to do 2 jobs in one night instead of focusing on one job.
and not get paid for either of them.
Well, the paying part doesn't bother me. The fun, it's just like it's logistically a nightmare. Going, I'm going to do an interview after I've introduced the person to the person that was just on, and then pay attention to the person that's on, so I can get back on stage and make sure I can like make a joke after they were on and joke about it while I interview the person before. No.
No, I wouldn't interview like the next guy going up. I'd just be like interviewing whoever's in there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like, but you still want to be paying attention. Like the way that I MC, right, is obviously the way you should anyway. Start up the crowd, get them ready, get them happy, get them all on side, help them understand what's happening. But then between everyone's sets, I'm listening to everyone's set and trying to make a callback on their set.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then it's like, hey, you know, I'm paying attention. I know you're paying attention. This is working. But then it gives them a reason to really pay attention to everyone's set. Because if I do a callback after the first person and they're like, hey, he made a joke about that and that was funny. So they get it because they realize that my joke is related to that set. So the next person, like, we're going to listen to this, like little Easter eggs in video games.
Yeah.
If we listen to that, we know this dickhead's going to try and make a joke about it, and we're not going to get that joke if we don't listen to this. So it tries to tune everyone in. Get this? Tune in more at the shows. And then if they're paying more attention, I feel like I'm doing my job properly.
Yeah. And you don't even need to do it every single time as well, because sometimes it's easy to just bring the next person straight up.
Oh, if it's too easy, you have to. Like if it's just like, this is going to be great, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, as we're talking about Danny McLean's thing, you've got to pick the spots. Like if you know someone's going to be sweet if they come directly on after, fine. If you don't think they are, you'd be like, okay, I got to clean the palate.
Yeah. The worst is when you go to clean a palate and you've just essentially licked the plate. You haven't cleaned nothing.
I fucked up here.
But when you go to like just say something, not you, I'm speaking from my own experience.
Yes.
You go to crack a joke,
Well, you
you're
haven't
like,
seen
this
me
will
MC
fix
yet.
everything, and then you're like, oh, I ruined everything.
You haven't sent me MC yet, so this will be your first chance.
Haven't I?
I don't think so.
I don't think I have. Where would I have, apart from Mad Cow?
I haven't done Mad Cow yet. Every time we book it, something happens.
Yeah.
But I did all the Violators. I was the MC for Violators. I did Mandarin shit back in the day. A couple other ones.
No, sick.
Should be good. Anything else you need to promo?
I'm doing a roast show.
Oh yeah, you're doing that's 27th of June.
Yeah, I think that's the one. How do you know it?
I'm a freak, dude.
Are you on it?
I'm on the one after. I'm in July.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was going to do the July one. This is
Roasters
unprofessional looking at it.
At Oasis, 27th of June. It's a Friday.
Yeah, so I might get fired from the Comedy Lounge for saying this, but come on down to Oasis Comedy. Friday 27, roast battle. I'll be versing Nikos, which is going to be absolutely
That'll be funny as
great.
fuck. You
I
and
brought
Nikos.
him into this comedy world, and I'm going to fucking take him out. This Saturday, I don't know if this podcast will be out by then.
Yes.
Probably not. I will.
It will be like one day, so.
Wild West Comedy. I'm doing a spot
What are you doing
there.
That's Lockie's show.
Lockie
which
Skinner.
They probably watched the pod.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's got this far, they probably watched Lockie's pod.
And if anywhere else you want to see me, just watch the news. I'll eventually appear on there sometimes. Just
Crime Stoppers.
yeah, Crime Stoppers. You see one of my relatives at least.
All right. Cheers for coming on.
Cheers for having me.
Bye.